Please take care of yourself when you listen to this recording. This contains some information that is anecdotal and might even be proven in studies. The effects of being made to feel powerless and being made to feel subverted is very real. Subjugated is very real. And I spent 50 odd years dealing with a mental illness, which I believe now is environmental. And the reason it's untreatable is because it's untreatable by traditional standards, but that doesn't mean it's untreatable in general. Okay, you guys, please take care of yourselves. I am a peer sharing as a Turquoise Movement instance. My mental illness is limerence. My mental illness is complex PTSD. I know it from peer experience. Maybe it's anecdotal, but I looked up symptoms online and they match. And my insurance will not pay for the mental health care I need. The mental health care I've had has not helped. It is only attempted to treat symptoms of depression and anxiety. The symptoms have been disabling. I still should qualify for Social Security benefits as of now. I'm almost 59 years old. I don't know how many more evaluations I might get from Social Security for mental illness, but my feelings tell me that if I go to psychiatric care anymore, not only is it not going to help, it's only going to make my problem worse, because I'm going to go there and get treated in a condescending way. I'm going to be prescribed medications that don't really help. In fact, they make me worse because of physical side effects. And I don't know what I'm going to do. I feel like I had both my legs and arms chopped off when I was 4 years old when I got assaulted. And it was a multiple thing. It wasn't just one incident. When I got traumatized, and I'm not even going to mention all the details. I know we live in an information-based culture in America. I know we live in a culture where we have to have proof all the time. Well, there are YouTube videos, and you can even search them. Search pattern versus proof if you want. I'll search it too if you're not sure. Pattern of abuse, pattern of trauma versus the proof. Especially if there were no witnesses. There were no witnesses when I was traumatized. When I was assaulted by my stepfather, there were no witnesses. My mother was out of the house. My aunt wasn't there. I didn't have any other family members or neighbors or anybody to witness what happened. The other incidents that happened from neighbors and babysitters, no witnesses. I was alone. And I was at the age where I couldn't even articulate what happened. And I lost some time, too. When I was, by the time I was 6 years old and I was school age, I couldn't remember any of it consciously. All I knew was that I felt bad physically, I felt bad emotionally, and I didn't understand why. And I got bullied at school, and I didn't understand why. And I got misunderstood by adults, although many of them were kind to me. I didn't know why. I didn't know any of this stuff until I had to look it up myself when I was in my approximate 30s and 40s. I had my first big trauma memory when I was in my 30s, and it wasn't even very clear, but it was enough. When I was in my 40s, I was starting to sort it out, because then I got YouTube. And I was binge watching a lot of videos about stuff I'm talking about right now. And now I had to cancel another psychiatric appointment because I know that it's not helping. I know that it's not working. The medication isn't working. It's only making me sick. And the psychiatric counseling I'm getting isn't helping. It's nice to talk to someone who validates me, sometimes. And it's nice to check in about how to regulate emotions. And it's nice to check in and examine behavior. But it really didn't touch what I was dealing with. I need coaching every day, and I get it with my mentor. I need love. I need to know what love is on a relational basis. I need to know what I need to know from another angle about how to give myself unofficial therapy. Sometimes when it's not available, whether it's the insurance or whether it's the attitude of society, whether it's the money, it's just not available. And it's, we're studying the nervous system, and we're just scratching the surface. But I don't trust corporate mental health care. I don't trust industrial, traditional mental health care anymore. It didn't help when I was 5 years old. It isn't helping, and it never will help. Take care, everyone. I wish you a lot of luck and safety on your journey. I have to obey the law by saying if you are in a crisis, call 988. Get a professional, because professional care might work for you. But it's not helping me. It didn't help me, and it's not helping, and it won't help. I promise that if I'm not safe ever, I will call a crisis counselor. I will check into the hospital if I have symptoms that are dangerous. I guarantee I will do that. But I haven't needed to be hospitalized, and I haven't been a danger to myself since 2016. And I'm really proud to say that. And the only reason I was a danger to myself back in that time was because my roommate and I were moving, and I was pretty sure that our previous landlord was going to take us to court if we didn't find a place to live. And I just couldn't imagine living beyond that, because my roommate and I couldn't find another place to live. It's getting harder to find places to live when you're on benefits. Let's face reality. One of the reasons we're not safe one of the reasons we're not safe is often environmental. I encourage us to do as I recommend with my self-made process of turquoise movement instances with 7 modules and 7 principles. Let's change our world, and let's change ourselves. We can do it. Let's stop having a nihilistic, despairing attitude that we can't. We can. Are you with me? Woo! I'm doing recordings, and there are going to be 2 or more recordings on here. One is dealing with my relationship, coming to terms with my relationship with my caretaker, my aunt. She was definitely not perfect. Dear Aunt Julie, recorded by Carolyn. Right before you passed away, you said, "I know you don't want to." Those are the last words you spoke to me before you died. That's true. I don't want to talk to you. This was referring to, you wanted me to call you. You told me I could call you anytime, call you to talk. And then I said, "Okay, Julie, I'll call you." And then you said, "I know you don't want to." When you said that, I didn't know how to respond immediately. I wanted to tell you that's true. I don't. But I knew something was going to happen if I did, and I need to confront it. I sense you don't want to, but I do. You're dying. And I know it. You can't hide that from me. You can't hide from me that you're dying, and I also know that isn't all you are. You're still a sentient being who has the right to her feelings and her thoughts and her experiences. And right now you're telling me you've got an experience. I don't want to talk to you, and that experience is accurate. I don't. But a long time ago I did want to talk to you. A long time ago I wanted to talk to you after my mother died, after another family member passed away. I wanted to talk to you, and I actually look forward to you living with me, you raising me full time. But what I didn't realize, and what I fear now as an adult you didn't realize, is you didn't want to be fully responsible. Maybe you didn't, I don't know if you realized on another level the responsibility of raising a child, especially if you didn't even want one. If you'd wanted one, I would have had cousins. You would have had children. You didn't want to have children. You didn't want children, and you were not prepared to raise me. I'm facing that for you too. I'm confronting that for you as well, because I don't think you wanted to confront that. You didn't want to deal with that. You didn't want to confront the change in our relationship. You thought you were going to figure it out somehow, but I did feel the change when my mother died. I did feel the change in your behavior, your attitude toward me, your feelings. Whether you want to face that or not, and whether you want to face that you were grieving. You were grieving a loss when your sister died. You were grieving a loss, even if you didn't like her. Because I'm grieving a loss. I've been grieving a loss. I don't like you too much either. I didn't like you too much after the way you started acting after my mother died. That was still my mother. I still needed a mom. I still needed a mother. And having a mother should not be just care. It should not be just obligation on your end. And even my mother's end. My mother... I know my mother wanted to raise me. I know I can read it in her diary. Thank you for that. Thank you for the information in my mother's diary. Thank you for giving me my mother's diary, so at least I know how she related to me, how she wanted me, how she loved me. And maybe, although she didn't like you all the time either, she loved you. She did love your parents. She did love her parents, your parents. And she loved me, and she loved you. And it's a little difficult to love when you're in an environment where you feel like no matter what you say or do, it's wrong. And it can feel that way in your energy. It really can. I'm sure it felt that way. I'll speak for my mother. I'll speak even for my grandparents if they felt that way. I'll speak for myself, definitely. Because I felt that way. I felt like I couldn't do anything right. I felt like you didn't love me anymore. And it's not questioning your ability to love. It's just how I felt. I didn't feel loved by you anymore. Even though I can believe you on an analytical level when you say you did. Say you do. I didn't feel that way. And after my wordy testimony, I'll say something very simple. You can change. It would have been okay for us to work on that. If you had taken some accountability for your own behavior, your own attitude, your own problems, your own life experiences with my mother, your sister, with your parents, with me. And this isn't about me anymore. This is about you. And I'm talking about me right now. What I'm experiencing. I did not experience love anymore from you. I experienced obligatory care and resentment. And if you were right about me not wanting to talk to you, I'm sure I'm right about your problems, because it hung in the air all the time. It hung between us constantly. It hung between us even after you passed away. I felt terrible. I wanted so badly to reach out to you and say, listen, it is true and it's not true. It's true I didn't want to be in your energy anymore when you started acting that way, but on another level, I wanted to talk to you. I still do. I'm talking to you right now. But when I feel made wrong, when I don't feel heard either, when I feel like it's me doing something to you all the time, I can't relate to you. I don't want to relate to you. I don't want to relate to that energy. I want to relate to you. I want to relate to the you were before my mother died, before your sister died. I want to relate to that. I could have been able to reach out to all of you at that point, but you pushed me away. I feel pushed away. I feel invalidated. I feel discounted. I feel disrespected too. And I did need you. I needed a mom. I needed a friend. I needed